Hey everyone, it's Don G. Corleone here, and I'm here with a brand new epic rant, pun intended, when I say epic. And this rant, or epic rant, is going to be for a certain parody film from two hacks I despise in Hollywood. It's one of those scary movie knockoffs. Yes, guys. It's for a Seltzer Freeberg movie. And if you're wondering, is it a date movie? Is it a disaster movie? Is it Meet the Spartans? Is it the Starving Games? Is it Vampire Suck? Or it's neither of those three. It's another one of their most notorious. It's their one they did in 2007. And it's called Epic Movie. Yeah, literally all these guys' films have to end with the word movie. Because they're basically, what they do is they fail at trying to spoof a certain genre. What's the plot of this attempt? Well, this one is a parody of Narnia because it's about four troubled orphans from their separate movie scenarios who are bound together in a wacky chocolate factory after receiving golden tickets to go on an epic adventure. After they escape from the clutches of a very scary Willy Wonka, they discover the magical word of Gamma through an enchanted wardrobe, where they must seek the help of a randy lion, a herd of mutants from the X Academy, students of which are of witchcraft and wizardry, and funky swashbuckling pirates, and a mischievous beaver to defeat the evil white bitch. Yeah, guys, the White Witch's parody in this movie is called The White Bitch. Wow. That is funny as hell. Great idea. So yeah, as you all know, this is a 2007 parody film directed by Seltzer and Freeberg and produced by Phil Schriff. It stars some good legends in here, like Cal Penn, Adam Campbell, Jima Mays, Jennifer Coolidge, Fiona Chambers, Crispin Glover even, Tony Cox, and Fred Willard. A parody of the epic film genre. They reference the Chronicles of Narnia, Harry Potter, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, not an epic movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, and X-Men. And if there's one thing it's known for, it's the song Miss New Booty by Bubba Sparkless gained commercial attention for being featured in this film. Many have considered this to be one of the worst films ever made, although technically they consider that to all of Seltzer Freeberg's films. So as you guys may all know, like I've already mentioned, Seltzer and Freeberg are the two guys who helped write Scary Movie in 2000, and after that, they wanted to direct their own parody films. To try to, because they wanted to, and you want to know why they did that? Because, well, you all know this, Scary Movie was a success at the box office. So, but there's a difference. They at least were not the directors of Scary Movie, but Scary Movie was at least just okay. So was Scary Movie 2. It was Scary Movie 3 and 4 is where it got bad. All their films are fucking horrible. They get horrible reviews from just about everybody, but for some weird reason, they keep making money with all of them. From Date Movie, from this, from Meet the Spartans, and from the notorious Disaster Movie. This is probably tied with Disaster Movie as their worst film yet. All their films should be called Disaster Movie because all their films are disasters. The sad thing is, I remember seeing this trailer for this movie as a kid, and I wanted to see it just because of how funny the trailer made it look. However, my parents would not let me see it because they thought it would not be kid appropriate. After finally seeing this movie, You guys know how Nostalgia Critic had the same hype for Garbage Pail movies, Pail Kids movie when he was a kid? Well, you can say that with with this movie for me for sure, and it's now become his most hated movie of all time. The difference is this is not my most hated movie of all time. I think you all know what my most hated movie of all time is, but this is one of them. The main issue about this film is originality. The movie is merely a reshoot of all the films it parodies with different actors, and actors who aren't even talented. There's no originality in the script. The writers just seem to just bundle a whole cheap those scripts of the movies they were parodying together and added childish slapstick skits here and there, along with repetitive MTV references that never varied. This movie made the film boring. And the main parody of this film is, of course, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe. Those who have never seen the film want to see a clever parody, not to see every scene in the film reenacted by terrible actors and just try to make it funny. If the movie had been any longer than 90 minutes, I swear to God, I would have just rage quit and smashed my TV. They also recycle old jokes used in other terrible Seltzer and Freeberg parodies. Like, for example, Peter, Edward, Susan, and Lucy are meant to be siblings that have the same parents, yet are portrayed as a mix of black and white actors. The joke was apparently used in the also abysmal Date movie, as a biological family consisted of a black father, Indian mother, and white and Chinese daughters. The joke was not funny in either of these films, and the whole mind-numbing experience is simply a series of pathetic spoofs and blockbusters, with the merest thread holding the weak storyline together. Basically, there's no point going to what little plot there, as you would need a death wish to watch it after The Sound of Advice is. Of course, some of you will watch it to see if it's indeed as bad as people are saying. Trust me, it is. It's not funny, and it's so bad. It's funny kind of way. There is no plan for a matter. Look, this is an comedy. Unless you are stoned and out of your mind, drunk the eyeballs, and are 10 years old, or sit stony-faced throughout. In fact, you will likely sit quietly, seething, grinding your teeth, and clenching your fists, annoyed or angry. Some people can say there's some unfair bias against Seltzer and Freeberg. After seeing this film, it's simply not the case. The fact that these guys kept getting money around the 2000s and were still allowed to make movies that all still failed, but were still box office hits. How could anyone give these guys money? A freshman at any U.S. film school could make a better movie than this. Hell, he could probably make a better movie than this garbage. All these films are utter complete garbage. I'm like, holy hell, like, the worst part about these films is the script. Yes, I do realize it's supposed to be a comedy, but a movie needs to have a script for it to actually work. These movies just parody random scenes from movies and they try to make them fit together. You go from Borat, Prince, Narnia, Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's just mind-numbingly bad. There's no reason between the scenes and it just makes it that much more painful to watch. There's not a single funny moment in this movie. Not one. I challenge anyone to find a scene that's even funny and gives you a hint of a smile. The acting is terrible, the step pieces are absolutely horrible, and the people who find this remotely funny are would probably be 13-year-old teenagers. Seriously, how do we say it funny? Well, have David Carradine be in a scene that parodies Da Vinci Code. Hell, even have wasted talents such as Cal Penn and Crispin Glover. Waste those talents. However, Crispin Glover, I will admit, he was pretty decent as Willy Wonka. He wasn't a bad Willy Wonka, I gotta say. With the one scene he has, in fact, it's probably one of the only best things about this movie. His performance as Willy Wonka was one of the only best things I enjoyed. Not only that, it's filmed to the brim with atrocious, gross-out jokes, racist jokes, gay jokes, sex jokes, fat jokes, and fart jokes. Like in one scene, Susan, after drinking too much alcohol, starts barfing and doesn't stop for a very long time. And somewhat more irritating, while the unrated version has a Samuel L. Jackson look like saying the motherfucking in the snakes line. It's said the theatrical cut replaces it with goddamn snakes. Making this reference make no sense. Also, he repeats the Snakes on a Plane line over and over and over and over and over and over again. Many of the film's parodies aren't even well researched. Like, for example, Mystique is portrayed as a member of the X-Men, but she's the X-Men's villain. First Class would at least portray her as a former student of Charles Xavier, however, but that's a prequel. Some of the jokes are even stolen from other comedies, like the Borat parody, for example, is literally the same joke from the original film, but with one word changed. And while the Wolverine parody flips off Peter while he was hiding Claw, which the real Wolverine already did in the first X-Men movie, like, apparently some guy named Film Brain puts it like there's a difference between parody and plagiarism. They're not the same thing. What makes matters worse is that this movie features a brief parody of the James Bond film Casino Royale, even though that movie was not even released when Epic Movie was written and filmed. Some unrealistic, dumb, childish, and inappropriate names like Pervertsky, Harry Beaver, which is the Talking Beaver parody in this, The White Bitch, a parody of The White Witch, and Captain Jack Swallows, an insult parody to Jack Sparrow. The pacing is atrocious, despite the film being only 85 minutes long. The film feels much longer than that, and a lot of the scenes feel like they drag on, and none of the cameos in this movie are funny, nor do they even have a point whatsoever. Most of them are only there so the audience can say, oh, I know who this character is. I know what these characters are. Like, for example, the Casino of Parasolen is completely cameo of Parasolen is pointless, since there's not even a joke, and she just acts like herself. This movie even references zoophilia and bestiality in a PG-13 movie. Like, Mr. Tumnus, this movie, who's a fawn, half-human, half-goat, is a life partner, has a homosexual relationship with the beaver. That's your example. We have so many pop cultural references. Like, in one scene where Mr. Tumnus is showing his crib, he says, look at my plasmal, referring to his TV. And the ending is just abysmal, because after the heroes get crushed by a wheel, during the credits, the PG-13 shows scenes of dancing actors for 15 minutes, but I didn't watch the credits because I just wanted to shut the movie off when it was finished, including parody Michael Jackson dressed up as V from V for Vendetta. And despite being called Epic Movie, epic films aren't even in this. Like, epic films like Ben-Hur, Ten Commandments, Lawrence of Arabia, Chronicles of Narnia, Pirates of the Caribbean, Superman Returns, Harry Potter, those are epic movies those are actually epic movies. Movies they parody in this, like Borat, Nacho Libre, Snakes on a Plane, are comedies. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a family movie, and Da Vinci Code is a mystery thriller. Is there any redeeming qualities apart from Crispin Glover? Well, no. Okay, fine. Maybe a few. Maybe 20th Century Fox is smart enough to not put their name on the opening or any promotional matters such as trailers and posters, which is good, because if it did, it might have tarnished their reputation. The Harry Potter portion of the story does what somewhat resembles satire. The Superman scene, despite being very unnecessary, is actually kind of funny, and it would have worked if it had a context. And despite many of the costumes and outfits looking like bad cosplay, Camera Electra's Mystique actually looks surprisingly good, even if her fatter transformation still looks surprisingly solid, with many even... I'll say this. I think her X-Men Mystique makeup looked better than Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique makeup in any of the newer X-Men films. I'll say that. But, however, there's not a good reason to watch this at all. Please do anything else with your money or your time in Netflix. Even if you watch better parody movies such as the first two Scary Movie. Hell, you want good parody movies? Go watch like the first two Scary Movie films. Airplane, the Shrek franchise. Any other better parody than this crock of shit. Or any of these two directors' other films. Anyway, that's it for my review of Epic Movie. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Epic Movie, here's how I'm going to rank this movie. So overall, if you want to do anything wise with your time, watching this movie is not one of them for sure, and there are other things you could do that is not watching this. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Epic Movie, I'm going to give Epic Movie a -0 out of 10. There you go. Now y'all know my thoughts on Epic Movie, or Seltzer Freeburg in general. So you're wondering, how do you rank the rest of their films? Same score. All of them get a -0 out of 10. They're all equally terrible. All I can say is, thank God these guys have not directed any more movies ever since then. You know, they originally were going to direct a parody of the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy, or some of the new Disney Star Wars films. Like, it was going to be called The Force Awakens the Last Jedi Who Went Rogue. Thank God it did not happen. It probably would have been even worse than how bad the sequel trilogy already was, but whatever. I'm just glad these guys have never appeared in Hollywood again, and I hope they don't direct any more movies again, or pray to God we don't have to see another film from these two. But until then, that'll be it for this rant. Thank y'all for watching, and if you like this and want to see more, and don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.